Hello and welcome to another video from thefanpub.com. Got Sean and me.
It's great to be here. Obviously, this is another player profile video today, but instead of me asking our players, Al gets a chance to flip the switch now.
I get my revenge.
So it's his revenge. I've tried to get rid of as many tricky players as I could. I didn't have enough time, and now Al's going to throw some really horrible ones at me, I'm sure. So
yeah. So what I'm going to do is there's a few tricky players I think in the draft, and how you sort of value them is going to be key to how well you do in your draft. So I just want to see what Sean thinks, get his opinion on.
And then you'll give us
players.
Your thoughts as well on those.
Yeah, I'll get my thoughts on that.
Okay. So which is your first pick?
See if you can guess who this guy. He's sort of been a perennial letdown so far, but he's finished the season. He's a running back. He finished the season really strong.
Yeah.
And obviously, if he repeats the form of the last 3 or 4 games, he's going to be probably an RB1.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So I think I'm seeing where this is going.
His ADP is 28. So
sounds good.
We're talking third round.
This isn't DH, is it?
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Oh, God.
I'm wearing Derrick Henry, so...
Yeah, that's very kind of you. Oh, right. Where do you want me to start with this man? Right, okay, well, let's go over that.
I mean, can he repeat the end form season, or will it be a...
Well, I had a bad feeling that this player was going to be one of your victims, so obviously I have thought about this guy a little bit more in detail and re-examined him a little bit more over his season, and I have to say I don't like him at all. Here's my problem with him. Right now, if you look at it on paper, he had just over 1,000 yards. I think 1,067 last year, and ended up with 12 scores. That sounds great. You add it together, look at standard scoring, and you're looking about a shade under 180 there and thereabouts, and that's fine because you think growth and everything else. This is a breakout candidate, surely, except if you rightly pointed out the last 5 games. Over 25% of his production and a quarter of his touchdowns come from one game.
Yeah, but he finished strong. Can he
against opposition that was floundering? No, this guy's the most inconsistent running back that I've seen for a long time. I hate him. I don't want to touch him, and you know what?
You don't think there's any chance he can...
I really don't want anything to do with him. Derrick Henry is a player. It's like all of Tennessee. Just avoid like the plague. I can't do it. I can't do it out. I can't do it to myself. I'm going to have to pay a high premium for this guy. He's going to be a second pick, maybe a third, depending on the league format. But generally, for most leagues, it's a second round pick. I can't touch this guy. There's no way am I anchoring my team around him. There are other people I would definitely take over.
The reason you can't trust him because you think he isn't reliable, or do you think that? Because I think
how
there is
many
a chance
games
use him more?
How many games did he go above 60 yards last year?
It's how he finished the season.
Well, sometimes yes. I'm all for trends,
it?
But he was against teams that were completely capitulating, were collapsing. I mean, Giants, the Jags. The worst thing about this is I predicted and didn't take a share of this. I thought I can see Derrick Henry going on a run right at the week that he got that 4 touchdown run. I tried to get bids in. People know me from TFP. I was trying hard to get him for 4 weeks. That's all I wanted for the playoff run. I couldn't get him. And then he blew up. People go, oh, who could have seen this coming? And you know what it was? It was because the opposition was so poor. That's all I was interested in. That I thought there's an opportunity here. So that's the only reason I was interested in him last year. Hate the player. Hate the team. Hate everything about Tennessee. Sorry, Tennessee fans. You're not a fan, but you're wearing the shirt. I can't trust this guy. And in fantasy, trust is everything. It's like some players, they don't get the touchdowns. A good example would be Julio Jones. They don't get the touchdowns often, but consistently deliver the numbers you're looking for every week. So you never feel let down by
One thing I would say in his favour, although whether they carry this on or not, I don't know. I mean, towards the end, they did flip the switch from using Dion Lewis a lot to using Derrick Henry a lot. Yeah,
they did say that they're going to try and run the ball more and run it through him. But I say this all the time. That sounds so great. When you've got a balanced team, right? So when you've got a balanced team and coaches say, I'm going to run the ball through people, I believe that because I think, okay, I can see that because you've got a balanced team. If the teams try and cheat up and put 8 in a box, you can kill them with a good quarterback, good wide receivers. Everything fits well. There's nothing about that team that screams. There's nobody I'm worried about.
There is a player on that team you like.
Maybe one, and that's it.
Their tight end.
Yeah,
he's getting on a bit.
The only reason I like Delaney Walker is A, he's cheap in fantasy. Everybody's given up on him. Big mistake. Yes, he's coming back from an injury, but you know what? You get him so late, you can have him as your second tight end, and if he doesn't perform, it doesn't matter. But if he does, he's top. He's always been top caliber every time he's played. So I never lose sight of that fact that while other people, swerve past him, I don't mind taking him. But he's the exception to the rule. He's Mariota's outlet valve. The trouble with the team is simple. It's so inconsistent, and it's spelled even through wide receivers. I mean, we recently discussed Corey Davis. I mean,
it's hard to say that without throwing up in it.
It's horrendous. You always feel sick in your mouth when you talk about some of these Tennessee players.
When you have them on your team, it's even worse.
I understand the appeal, and I'm all for trajectory. I'm all for looking at the end of the season run and thinking, that's interesting. I wonder if he can carry that on. But in this guy's case, I haven't seen it yet, and there's so many reasons. Game script will be massive. If they're behind, they're not going to keep running the ball. And do you know what? His catching ability is terrible. I mean, absolutely diabolical. I mean, he hardly can catch a ball. I mean, he only got 19 targets. In
a scale, it's from Jordan Howard to James White. Where does Derrick Henry come?
Quite close to the bottom of the scale. I mean, he had 19 targets and he dropped 3, which doesn't sound too bad, but except when you put this into context. Larry Fitzgerald in his career has actually had more tackles than drop balls, and this is going to sound really weird, but he actually has only ever dropped like 18 passes in his entire NFL career. That's how elite the man is. 18. I mean, I had to look at that again recently, and I'd rather talk about him than I would
anyone but Derrick Henry.
Anybody but this man. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. If you're a Derrick Henry fan and you love him, great. Don't be put off.
Does anybody love him though?
I mean, if you've owned him, I mean, I'm sure the first word you'll be saying is consistency. And I can't imagine an owner of Derrick Henry honestly beating a path down to own him again. Not after last year. One big 234-yard game is 25%. Over, actually, 25% of your production. 25. And 4 touchdowns from your 12. 12 sounds a great number, but 4 of them come from one game. We all know unsustainability. And I mean, he'll have a role. There'll be a value to him.
So
but
what is
not
his value?
Not second round.
Third round.
I'd say third, late
28. So
I'd say this, right? If he was going into a third round of a large league, 14 team or 16 team, I can see you've already anchored 2 players. I get it. That's okay. You can take him as your second running back or maybe your third, depending on what's happened. That I can cope with that because you've mitigated the risk. But if he's your second player and then you're going into the third round, I think in some of these large leagues, the third round is where the business starts.
Okay, so if you're looking for let's say it's a 12-team league, you're looking for a running back in the third round. Your choice is Derrick Henry, Fournette, Damian Williams. Who do you take?
I'll take Damian Williams all day long.
Okay, if your options are Fournette, Devontae Freeman, and Derrick Henry, who do you take?
I don't want any of them, and I wouldn't take those running backs.
I know you'd take anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't take any.
Aaron Jones, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would.
But who falls a lot later in.
And that's perfectly fine with me. I'm quite happy to take him.
There's a tip in itself, really. So the only guy begin with D you want to own in Tennessee is probably Delaney Walker. So
DW. Forget everybody else. He'll give you a W. He'll make up for any tight end issues.
Mariota, would you want to own him?
No, because the thing is, he's had chances. He's shown that he, like a lot of these NFL quarterbacks, the biggest problem is that now the game has opened up more. There's a lot more yards out there for these quarterbacks, which is great. So you often get lulled in, like Jameis Winston had 2 4,000-yard seasons, and you think, if only they can add the touchdown numbers. They're not going to. So I absolutely will avoid Mariota. I can't do it to myself. I will refuse to do it. If you're picking after me and he's still on the board, he's still going to be on the board. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Not for me this year.
Well, there you go.
He needs a year to prove it, and this is his chance.
It's a no from Sean.
Yeah. What about yourself, though?
I don't know. He's one of them players that.
Would you take him? Second round, you're into the second, so you've got 2 picks back to back. Would you take him as one of them?
I think I'd probably take Fournette above him, but they both could run a lot. It depends. I mean, if they're one of them teams that troll you, you think, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, it's a great pick. It looks good.
He could run. Young. They could run all day with him.
He's strong. He's everything you want.
He scores touchdowns, and then you think, no.
You just need 4 or 5 terrible starting games to the season. And you're in trouble. And do you know who their first game is against? Tennessee?
No.
Cleveland. Right? And I think this is going to be a shootout. I mean, the one game you don't want to start the season off with is against Cleveland, who are coming in hot.
No, I don't know. It's a good time to play them, I think. Because they weren't gelled yet.
Well, I don't know.
A lot of changing pieces.
I think what you're going to see from Baker Mayfield is a lot of...
Where's it at?
It's at... at Tennessee.
Because I fancy Henry a lot more at Tennessee than I do.
It is at Tennessee. So no, I'm more keen on that being a big shoot. See, my argument with Tennessee's schedule as you start looking at it is I see a lot of games where there's potential for shootout. I'm not disagreeing in the first quarter they'll try and establish the run. I'm not knocking any of that, and I'm not saying Henry hasn't got a value. I'm not predicting any of those things. What I'm saying is I don't think it's second round value. He has to return 180 fantasy points.
Third round value though.
Third round,
12 team.
Third round I can live with it because I think you've mitigated the risk. It's okay. But you know what? I think his value will keep climbing. That's the worry.
But you'd rather have Aaron Jones or Damien Williams?
100%.
I think I would as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, well, thanks for watching.
God, that's out of the way.
Let's see what gem we got for Sean next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and keep commenting. They really make a difference. Thanks very much.
Thank you.